Hello, my lovely and dear Aries. This is your horoscope for December. Finally, we are in December, last month of 2024. Crazy how a year passed so fast, and this is the time to finally recollect all our mind, all our thoughts, and what we've been through, and make some conclusions. Reflect. December is always a month for reflection, and even what's going on in December, astrologically speaking, will tell you the same to pause. December will be a rather interesting month because, last month in November, when Mercury went retrograde, it set the start, of the sleeping period for a whole people, for whole humanity until April. I've been checking 2025 and it looks amazing year, except for the fact that all the personal planets, meaning those planets that are affecting us directly in our daily life, bringing some situations directly, meaning those Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Venus, they all gonna retrograde in 2025 and until April. Like they are overlapping each other's retrogrades. So during first 4 months of 2025, including December, it's not advisable actually to start anything new because then it will have a slow in general progress. It will be a bit difficult to develop even further. But of course, it depends which planet is retrograding, which period is that, because each and all the planets, they rule different things in our lives. But because this all the planets that are personal, those that are directly, as I said, affecting us on our daily life, is going to retrograde, meaning better to pause. First 4 months should be preparatory for you. Maybe prepare something, some new projects to launch it after April or in summer. Now, and by the end of the year, like in December and also in November, we've got all those heavy, slow moving planets that are not so much directly affecting us in our lives, but they are more influencing us on a subconscious level, on a level of our spirituality, like spiritual growth and our psychological state. Those planets are going direct, full force, meaning a lot of like behind the scenes karma things or destiny, fate things are coming into our lives more. Now, let's deep dive into December. Those things I will speak more in your yearly 2025 horoscope. Stay tuned for that, my dear Aries. That is an amazing 2025. So you would want to for sure listen. And never forget to listen for your sun sign and rising and moon sign. Rising, the most important. Usually horoscopes are written for rising sign, and our rising sign, like mostly it affects us more, but not every time. For some people it might be sun sign, and for some people it might be even moon, depending on the time when you were born and the place and so on. So check all three so that you get to compare which one is actually affecting you the most. Now, December welcomes us with new moon on 1st December in your ninth house, in your house of travel, all things related to foreign lands, foreign people, languages, cultures, and documents also, all the things that we need to get into foreign places. And it's happening at 9 degrees, meaning those of you who are born around 29th of March, on 29th of March, and plus or minus 5 days, will be affected the most by this new moon on 1st December. But of course, all of us will get some news. Now, new moons are new energies. It's a door opener, sort of a new story, new event, or new person happening in your life, and it's happening in your ninth house. You might actually travel in the beginning of December, like, to some places. It might have been your plan to visit some, Christmas market before actual holidays kicks in, so to be with a family back to your home country, let's say. Now, this new moon will have a harsh angle from Saturn. Now, Saturn is planet of work and responsibilities, and also a planet of structures and planet of age. Now, Saturn will make harsh angle to that new moon from your 12th house also that rules far lands. And, I highly advise you to check all the details when you're going to be traveling, because also Mercury will be retrograding that time, meaning mixing up all the details, all the plans, all the bookings. So take good care about, all the numbers and data about your travel plans, like which flight, which date, which hotel, and all the stuff, because Saturn is also making harsh angle from the 12th house. Now, For some of you, it might be just about work. If you wish to travel, it seems like you might not enjoy so much of that travel, because why? You will be busy at work even while traveling. A lot of buzzes, coming from your work, from your manager, who seems like to be actually far away from you, abroad, for example. They might be calling you a lot about some assignments, about some tasks. It's the end of the year, so work must be pretty busy when there are deadlines, and they are making final calculations for 2024, what you achieved, and also and so on. And that's why there is a possibility that, even if you travel, you might not enjoy, because someone at work, like your manager, who's demanding, who is bossy type, who is very responsible type, will be buzzing you all the time with emails and messages, and questions about your assignments and deadlines. Now, Saturn at the same time will be making harsh angle to the ruler of this new moon, Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is amazing, of course, planet. It's a planet of gifts and luck. And, it's situated in your third house of communication. So here, it seems like communication as well might go wrong. I would suggest you, in general, beginning of December, to exercise patience, because there might be sort of a temper issues here as well, when there is a lack of communication, when there is bad communication. And also, third house is all about some fresh news. And if there will be news with this new moon, it seems like that news has sort of upsetting qualities, sort of negative kinda, but still, there will be one planet who will try to save actually whole situation, and that will be your ruler, my dear Aries. Of course, Mars will come to help you come to this picture, what's going on with the planets around this new moon. And Mars will make trine to that new moon, make supporting actually your travel plans, and it seems like you will be confident and assertive in actually having a good time when you will be traveling. Now, this is only one, let's say, situation that I'm giving. There might be all sorts of other different that I will try to give you as much as possible examples. Now, Mars will be in your fifth house, and it seems like no matter what, no matter of your like this whoever is at work, who is bossy, and no matter if communication goes wrong, it seems like Mars will tell you to enjoy the moment, to enjoy the period, and genuinely to love your life and yourself and the opportunities that this around this 1st December will be happening in your life. And also, if you're traveling with kids, those kids might give you the most enjoyment in your life. Now, ninth house, it's also about legal affairs, like whether you are in a process like litigation or some lawsuit, everything related to legal documents as well, some cases. And if that's your situation, um, I'm afraid the news that will be coming from that case won't be so positive. But still, it seems like it won't have such a, let's say, impacting you quality, because as again I said, Mars will help you to withstand this negative news, to believe and to move forward, because it's exactly in your fifth house, and a house where we love this life no matter what. Now, ninth house is also house of education. Now, those of you guys who are studying or wishing to study, or even teachers and who is teaching as well, because ninth house is a house of teachers, mentors. Here again, it might be also around your career. Some news might be coming up around your career, like let's say of teaching career, or even like your studies, about your studies. And those news might not be, as I said, as sweet as possible, but still your Mars will give you this sort of strong belief that everything is possible and everything will work out, and trust that your inner power, that is Mars, will be actually trying to deliver to you. Another thing that might happen is actually about publishing, because ninth house rules all those our publishing works and errands. Meaning, if you're in a process to publish of your work or your research, a book, for example, then there might be some situation around this publishing house or editor. It might be sort of a conflict there, or also it might be that you will need to rewrite things, maybe re-edit or rework actually, whatever you are trying to publish, because it's in the third house is Jupiter, the ruler of this new moon, and it's the angle is not great from Saturn. It means to put more hard work in whatever you're working, and it seems like universe in general telling you to revise, because Mercury is retrograding for first half of December, my dear Aries. And until it retrogrades, better not to buy any electronics, and better not to launch anything, not to publish, or not to start anything new, like registering business as well, because Mars is traveling your business house. A lot of my dear Aries, you guys might have been thinking to start up and open a business, but this is not a good time until mid of December. So believe me. Now, but anyhow, Mars will go retrograde too on 7th of December. Now, 7th of December is a big day, one of the big days of December. There is like a lot going on in December, astrologically speaking. So 7th of December will be one of these days, kind of astrologically packed, let's say, events day. And Mars goes retrograde. Mars is your ruler. You see how another planet, personal planet, is going retrograde, and it's overlapping with Mercury retrograde, which is already happening until 15th of December. But Mercury rules all things, ideas, communication, commerce, and trade. If you're interested a lot about this Mercury retrograde, I've done whole separate video on that, so you can go and check on my channel. But here, let's talk about Mars. Now, Mars goes retrograde, and Mars retrogrades for longer periods because it retrogrades every 2 years. So this is its time, and it will take up until February 2025. Now, until pretty much end of February, because every planet has shadow period as well when it retrogrades, meaning slows down, meaning not effective, not workable, not helpful, let's say, and it's hindering. Actually, it's a little bit putting pause, and like pressing brake all of a sudden, and specifically with Mars, because Mars is action planet. It's our motivation. It's that engine, it's that fire inside of us, the confidence, also the right mindset. Now here Mars goes retrograde, so whatever you start or you don't start, because Mars retrogrades, it will be lasting until end of February. And then a few days we need to count in so that to start, because Mars needs to regain its power, its, speed. So it needs time to fully come into force, which will happen by like end of March, April, something like that. Now, Mars will retrograde in your 5th house, exactly house of love to life and faith in better life in general, and our creativity, area of life where we create some things. Seems like there is motivation dropping in the 5th house, meaning those of you guys, especially who are like artists, dancers, singers, if you lost a little bit of inspiration, try to stay on track, but not to push yourself too hard. It's just the timing, my dear Aries. It's just the timing. Let yourself rest. Let yourself, let's say, reflect on your past achievements, and let your body also to regain its full power. This is a great time actually to go to care about your body, about your soul, also in general, to take care of your self, your health, because when Mars retrogrades in the 5th house, is also about a love for yourself. So if you need a time with yourself, take it. You will have perfect time until end of February. So first 2 months of and also like whole December, like 3 months, it goes retrograde of 2025. This will be perfect time for you with the winter, together with the winter, to sleep a little bit more, a little bit longer, to rest a little bit longer, and to recharge, because 2025 summer will be hot, astrologically speaking. So prepare for that. Now, 5th house is also about business. And again, if something's not going there right, if the process is slow, don't, let's say, beat yourself up around that, about the results. Everything will come just a little bit later, by the end of February, around your business, or whatever related to your business, whether you are in services or, I don't know, in commerce, whatever is that area, like you deal with people, clients, or something wrong with your business partners. Everything will come to its own places. Just give it a time. No need to push everything so hard, my dear Aries. Now, 5th house is also about your love life, it's a house of flirting, it's a house of romance. Now here Mars might give you desire to contact your exes as well. I wouldn't do so, because after Mars go direct, you might again realize why actually you are not on the same path anymore. You are not in the same path anymore, and it might come back to the same point where you will have to decide to break up, as an example. But if you are, how to say, worked out your differences, and you really looking forward to get back to your ex partners, then this time is a good time actually to reconnect. Fifth house is also house of children, because we create them. It's a creativity house out of joy. Now here, uh, everything related to your kids. They are in like their kindergarten or schooling or whatever, like their health, well-being, or maybe it's extra classes, whatever is that. Mars seems like telling you to pay attention to those things, to your kids' things. There might be some things that you might rework or redo something, do differently to make it more efficient. I hope I'm making sense, my dear Aries. So you just need to translate it into your own experience. What does that mean, particular to you in your life? What Mars is trying to tell you to pay attention, to. So to rework a little bit, to recharge, a little bit change, let's say, to adjust and make it better. Well, as an Aries, it's very hard for you guys to pause and reflect, because Mars is your also ruling planet, but still here Mars is slowing down, meaning you might want to slow down too. And that's the general advice of the universe until April, because after Mars goes retrograde, we also have then Venus and then Mercury second time retrograde. I mean, first time in 2025. Anyhow, so until your birthday, everything is slow, astrologically speaking. And don't be surprised if everything is slow in your life too, because those are personal planets. As I said, personal planets, they affect us literally, directly in our daily lives. Now, 7 December, also, we have huge thing happening with Venus, lover of Mars, your ruler. Now, 7th of December, Venus changes sign and it's moving into your 11th house. And 11th house is a house of future, house of wishes and friendships. It's the house where we hold all our dreams, that are dear to our heart. Now, Venus is changing into your 11th house and immediately meeting there with Pluto, because Pluto is newly found in your 11th house for the next 20 years. But these two already met in your 11th house back in February 2024. Now, back in February 2024, there might have been some situation when Venus met Pluto in your 11th house. This is second time this year they are meeting. So it might bring the same situation or same person that was happening around February in your life. So recall back to what was going on there. For sure, something big, because when Pluto and Venus meet, it's a such a huge aspect in astrology. Pluto is a planet of transformation, and it's now its new home. Your 11th house. It's in Aquarius, and Venus moves there. And each time, like all the planets will move into Aquarius, now we'll be meeting up with Pluto, and Venus seems like to meet up with Pluto already second time there. And it's set to be 7th of December. Now, same things will be happening. Seems like universe might bring some situations of people that were happening in the beginning of 2024, so that it will remind you by the end of 2024 to deal with it, or to reflect on it and, get some lessons. Something going on there, my dear Aries. I might not know, from here, from my couch. I don't get to see all the details of your natal chart, but the general point here, it might be related to your future. It might be that you've been already envisioning something in February 2024, and by December, it might give you some results, or it might remind you that you actually wanted this in your life. So why you haven't done anything whole year to move towards that goal, for example. This is an example. Now, 11th house is also friendship house. Some friends might be back. If there was a situation with your friend, and it might be also love thing, because Venus is a planet of love at the end of the day. And it might be that, let's say, you've been considering your friend as let's say, your love partner, or vice versa, like your friend considering you. And if there was some story there, that story might come back. or might be opening up or even blossoming further. Like if you've been thinking all this year what to do with that situation, now will be the time when universe reminds you that you need to finally decide, make the decision. This will be exactly around 7th of December. That person might be back, or it might be just a friend might be back, and plus Pluto rules your money house, your 8th house, and Venus also rules your second house of earning, money house. Now these two planets actually, when they meet, it's actually money aspect. It's amazing aspect, and it's happening in your 11th house. It might be that if that there was your wish to, I don't know, win a lottery, or save for your future, or save something, let's say until end of the year, you might actually reach that goal and find out that you successfully did what you've been planning back in February, regarding your money, regarding investing, for example, your investments too. Pluto is ruling your investment house and also inheritance house too. And or if you've been whole year, let's say after some clients since February, like which is lucrative clients, some deal, now December will be the time when that deal will be signed. Seems like you will finally forge that deal and you will make it happen. And of course, it will translate into your life as more money, right? Because Venus and Pluto is a money planet too, and big money. Pluto is a big money planet. Now, 11th house is also a house of, social circle, like those clubs of people, the groups that you belong to. And here it might be that, for example, in the beginning of this year, 2024, around February, you join some sort of lucrative club, luxury club, I don't know, golf club, or let's say you joined some club of people that are, let's say, different, like reading, I don't know, or chess. Or it might be at work, like as an expert. You join some club of experts that are chosen at your work to be as a, let's say, qualified and professionals and training. And now by the end of the year, when these two planets meet, something is happening there. You might get, I don't know, nominated to something. You might get some results out of that club, or you might finally see something happening which is beneficial in terms of influence and in terms of money to you from that group of people that you've been part of, or from that social group of, I don't know, group, some group, some people that you've been doing, and I don't know, might be training for something, and around 7th of December, that gives you final results, what you've been doing since like this whole year. This is as an example. 11th house, where they are meeting, also about internet, social media, popularity. If that's your topic, these two planets joining will might give you that spotlight, especially if you have something in the beginning degrees, like some planets or some placement in your chart in the beginning of Aquarius, like from 0 to 3, let's say, degrees, then it might be your shining star, let's say, moment, and it might make you actually known to a lot of people, because Pluto rules masses of people, like a stadium, as an example, and it might also give you big popularity, sort of influence, let's say. Now 11, if also your wish was to have kids, like children, 11 has also rules our children too, because it's directly opposite to our 5th house, and it seems like your wish might be granted here. You might find out about your pregnancy, as an example, or something related to your fertility journey or to your kids here. Now 11th house is also a house of third marriages, and here Venus together with Pluto might give you someone powerful, someone special, and with also big pocket, because Pluto is a big money planet and Venus is love. It might give you that fated meeting, for example, meeting someone special, or actually getting married third time. But just so you know that that person, because it's a Pluto type person, they might be manipulative. They might come across as very powerful. Of course, as an Aries, you also have a character. So if you are compatible enough, if that person is not so much pressing on you, is not like imposing his or her rules, then it's good, then it's a still great connection and great union there. But if you find yourself in a situation where you're with somebody who are oppressing, let's say, and more about their wishes, not about yours, then I would advise you to get out of relationship those kind of relationships, because Venus here with Pluto also will give you power to do so, vice versa, my dear Aries. Now, 8th of December, we have Neptune going direct. Now, Neptune is heavy, like slow moving planet, and it's more on our subconscious level. I've been telling about this Neptune going retrograde back in July when it started its retrograde period. So for 5 months, for the last 5 months, it was retrograding, meaning slowing down in your 12th house, and it rules your 12th house. Now, 12th house is our subconscious mind. And because it's a slow moving planet, it affects us more on a subconscious level. Sort of like, there is a tape playing in your head all the time, or time to time, popping up to your, let's say, daily mind, like conscious mind, about some things that are sort of like a background topic going on there. So when Neptune went retrograde with Saturn together back in June and July, all these things were at work, behind the scenes. You might have been for the last 5 months thinking a lot about your past life, or about your, let's say, when I say past life, means like your family where you grew up, for example, or about your grandparents, or inheritance. You might have been dealing with that, might be dealing with this inheritance thing, because 12th house is inheritance as well. And also in general, it's a subconscious mind house. It's the house where everything ends. Now, your like spiritual journey, as an example, you might have been going to some therapies, psychological therapies, or crazy interested, let's say, in astrology, spirituality, numerology, all these things. And when Neptune goes direct, it might give you sort of clear understanding. It might a little bit clear up for you what you've been going through, and finally give you sort of resolutions in your mind about some things that are related to your 12th house, as I said. Now, 12th house is also a house of surgeries and health. And if for the last 5 months you've been dealing with something that is related to your health, like surgeries, now Neptune goes direct, and it seems like it gave you its lesson, let's say, its thoughts. It put that seed into your subconscious mind, and now you've processed actually what was going on in terms of your health, and now you kind of got some understanding about some things there, because now Neptune goes direct, and it sort of clears everything there, and it might give you back actually the power to understand yourself more. Now, 12th house is also a house where everything is restricted, like military service, or prison, or hospitals. For example, you might be working in these kind of places, or hotels also, especially where there is an island, surrounded by water, like restricted things, it might be also company, but company with strict rules. There is like a strict sort of way of behavior, or way of communication, let's say, or handling yourself, whatever is that. It might be sort of environment where there is a lot of restrictions. And while Neptune was retrograding all those 5 months, you might have been dealing with those things in your mind. But now when it goes direct, now you will know what to do and how to do with all those things. You might be working there, or you might be yourself in these kind of places, for one or another reason. So I'm trying to give you as much as possible examples, so that you can translate it into your life. And also, 12th house is the house in general about rest, how we rest, how we recharge. It's our private time. It's our sort of private time. And Neptune here was giving you quite a lot of thoughts, let's say, popping up time to time for the last 5 months, about how you actually rest, and how you recharge, and how you spend your private time. And is there any private time? And if it's there, then how you deal with that? Are you comfortable? All these things were in your mind, and now Neptune gives you regained like this power to you to decide, actually, to act on those things that you've been reflecting on. Now, 15th December, this is another day which is powerful one. In December, also packed with events, we have full moon. One of the events will be full moon in your third house. Now, third house is all about communication, all about signing contracts, commerce, and deals, and also our courage is here, our ideas also, and skills, especially those that we can do with hands. Let's say, like, I don't know, cooking, sewing, um, creating something with hands, working. Now, a full moon is about conclusions, or they are like bringing something, some information, putting light, like there is a spotlight with this full moon to some part of your life, which is third house. Now, that full moon will receive harsh angle from Neptune. Now, Neptune is all about fog, because Neptune related to everything which is magical, spiritual, imagination, also inspiration, but also there is no boundary with Neptune. And it seems like whatever, like there might be situation which is not sort of clear, so you sort of cannot even decide what to do with this situation. And full moon is exactly happening in your third house about some deals, about some agreements, might be. Or it might be related to your siblings if you have them, like brothers and sisters or neighbors. If there is a situation and you need to decide, but this Neptune comes in to the picture and it seems like messes everything, and you sort of lose your orientation how to deal with the situation, sort of thing, or with the contract thing, or with the courses that you want to sign up, or the courses that you finishing already, as an example, because third house rules all those short-term trainings and courses, and especially driving courses, because third house is about driving. And if it's about deal, then it might be deals about buying, for example, transportation, or selling a car. And there might be a lot of confusion going on with Neptune making that harsh angle to that full moon. And it's happening at 23 degrees, meaning those of you who are born around 12th of April will be affected the most by this full moon, plus or minus 5 days. Now, but the ruler of the full moon, Mercury, which is retrograding, but that day, exactly on 15th, it goes direct. But let's stick to the full moon first. Now, Mercury, being a ruler of that full moon, will receive amazing beam, friendly beam from Mars, your ruler. And again, Mars is trying to save you here, my dear Aries, and it is situated in your fifth house, house of faith, house of belief in a better world, better life. And when Mercury receives that beam, but Mercury will be situated in your ninth house, house of foreign relationships. And if you've been trying to forge a contract with a foreign entity, whether it's a company or a person, a client, whatever it is, that Mars will try to help you actually. But because Neptune is so active there, making harsh angle, still a lot of things will be confusing. Plus Mercury will be retrograding. Now everything will be confusing, and I would actually advise you to postpone whatever you want to try to finish here around 15th of December, to postpone it until, I don't know, January, because and Mercury is retrograding, and Mercury is the planet of details and deals, and Neptune is there. Now Neptune is a planet of fog. Nothing is understandable there. So here there might be some situation that you might want to postpone and do it later date. 15th of December, the same day as full moon, we have Mercury going direct, and Mercury is notorious on exactly those days when it goes retrograde and goes direct. So here in this case is 15th December, exactly 15th of December. It's not good to sign any deals, to finalize anything, or to start new anything, because it might go all wrong all of a sudden. Now, Mercury will go direct on 15th of December, exactly in your ninth house, making us relieved, and finally, letting us to buy gifts to everyone, especially if that's in electronics, and also signing contracts and papers, and communication goes smoother, let's say, with no mistakes almost, and more clear way. Now, when Mercury goes direct in your ninth house, it also gives green light all those legal cases that you may be part of, or you're just following, or it might be some news coming about also some far places from your foreign friends or relatives, or someone who lives somewhere abroad, let's say, is also about education. Finally here, my dear Aries, for you, less confusion, more concentration here comes, and more picture clears out, let's say, if you are in studies, as an example. And there is a green light to publishing works too. And lastly, we have sweet, amazing new moon happening almost on the New Year's Eve, but here it's 30th of December, one day before a new year comes in 2025. I'm so happy about this new moon, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. It's happening in your 10th house of career, the most highest house, house of social status, and it's happening in 9 degrees, meaning those of you who are born 29th of March, plus or minus 5 days, will be affected the most. Those exactly who are not happy with the beginning of December, December decides to treat you well by the end of it. Exactly the same degree, there is new moon happening in your 10th house, and this new moon receives amazing support from Saturn, the ruler of this new moon. Now, Saturn is the planet of work, planet of responsibilities, hardships also, and age. Everything that you deserve, you might get by this new moon. By the end of this year, you might get recognition, for some work well done, or high status, or job offer, or let's say a promotion. From 1st January, you might be, I don't know, promoted, and you will receive this news by the end of this year as a surprise gift for you from universe and from your company, as an example. Now, 10th house is also, as I said, house of career. So you might change to the new one. You might decide with the new year and this new moon, I will totally change my, work. And you might get actually a very great one somewhere also far, where you need to relocate yourself. And 10th house is also a house of reputation. It's a house of influence, and here's new moon. It's a new energy there. Some new title is coming to you, sticking to you. Some prize might be here, and also achievement might be, like, I don't know, best employee of the year, or whatever is that could be. But universe decided to give you sort of appraisal here. It's amazing new moon. Use this new moon if you want to actually change the course of your career. And now 10th house is also house of social status, as I said, meaning whether you are married or divorced, or you're an employee or unemployed, whatever is your social status in a bigger society, something new is happening there. Something new is developing there. It might be a surprise proposal to get married, to get wed. Something like this might happen. Or it might be sort of new. You might get a news that you're becoming uncle or aunt, or even, a parents also, or grandparents, if that's your age. Now, this is amazing new moon. That is a gift from the universe. And also 10th house is about our father. It's about someone who we respect. All the people actually that we should listen to, obey, or respect, like our manager, our father. And it seems like if it's not your life, you say that nothing's happening in my life, then it might be that there is huge thing happening in those people's life, that like your father or your boss, your manager, someone that you listen to and obey. Now, something amazing happening there that will also touch you, will literally change your life too. This is amazing one, and 2024 says goodbye in amazing way with this new moon. I cannot be so happy with December forecast for you guys. Now, stay tuned for 2025 yearly horoscope for you guys. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Wish you all of you guys. Love you all. Bye bye.